Hey Prep Year 1 students, welcome to week 6. I'm one of your instructors, Miss Alexa, and I'm excited to work on making solar ovens with you this week. So this should be a pretty simple activity. It doesn't take too many materials. The main material is a pizza box. This is my Papa John's pizza box that I'm gonna use. But you can really use any box that you will be able to cut a flap on the top and that you can open in some way to put your food inside. So those are really the only requirements. So as long as you have some sort of box that can do that, then you should be able to use it. But I do have a pizza box from leftover dinner, so I'll be using that. You also need some aluminum foil. Let me open this up now. So yeah, you need some aluminum foil. You also need some saran wrap. This is that clear stuff. You're gonna need some glue, you can use either like shipping tape or like black electrical tape, or really any tape should be fine. You're only gonna need a couple of pieces of tape, a pencil, ruler, and then you're going to have to cut a flap in the box. So you are going to need some sort of utility knife or a box cutter or just some scissors, and just make sure you have an adult that can help you cut that flap in your box. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. This is an activity that I've always wanted to try, so I'm just gonna work through it as y'all work through it. So the first thing that you want to do is grab your pizza box, and you want to measure about 1 inch from the corner of your box. Do I have my pencil? Okay. So I'm going to mark that. And so now I can draw my line. Oh, I can't. Okay, so there, you can kind of see my line. So this is the part where you would want to get an adult to help you, because you're going to have to cut your flap out. Okay, so let me get my knife, and I am just going to cut down. There we go. So the important thing for this first step is to only cut 3 sides. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. Okay, put my knife away. So you are only cutting 3 of the sides. So you want this to stay intact. So you don't want to cut on that because we want to keep this flat on our pizza box, okay? So that is step 1, okay? And then what we're going to do is, I might need to bend it back a little more so it can open. There we go. Is now we're gonna need our aluminum foil. Let me see. That should be good enough. There we go. Okay, so we are going to line this flap. And you see I'm kind of bending it around the edges so that way it will stay intact. Okay, so there goes the first part of our solar oven. You might want to glue down this in the back if you think it's not gonna stay, but I think mine is gonna stay. So I'm not gonna use any glue for right now, but if you wanna secure it, make sure your foil doesn't fall off. Feel free to glue your foil down, okay? Okay, so the next step is now we're gonna need our saran wrap because this is going to be the real lid of our solar oven, and we don't want this to just be open for bugs and things to get into your food that you're going to cook. So that is where the saran wrap comes in. So we're gonna get our piece of saran wrap. And we are going to, we want the saran wrap to cover the inside of our oven. So I'm going to lay this down here. And this is where you need your tape to secure the saran wrap to the lid. Where is, what's up? Where's my scissors? Let's see if I can do this. Okay, so you see now we have our saran wrap barrier that's going to keep our food nice and contained. So you want to make sure that this is sealed all the way around inside and that there's no air that's able to get in. You want to be able to make sure that it's all sealed up. Okay, and then really all we have left is filling in the rest of our box with foil. So try and cover it as much as you can, because as you'll see, this aluminum foil is a very important part of the solar oven. Do you think this would work if we didn't have the aluminum foil? So think about that. Nice. Or glue down any of the foil if you want to make sure that it doesn't move anywhere. Okay, let's see. I might have to maybe let's see. Yeah, I think I need to glue some foil along the edges here too, just to be safe. Or tape it. Probably glue it. And you know, if you have some time, it would be cool if you decorated your solar oven and added some cool things on the outside, so maybe people don't know that it's a pizza box. Could really be some cool oven. Okay, so we are in our last couple of steps. You are going to need a black piece of construction paper. Make sure you go through the resources that we provide and do your own research. Why do you think that this black piece of construction paper will help your oven work? So think about that. But this sheet of black construction paper is going to go in the bottom of your oven. And you're gonna put your food on top of that. So let's get our, okay. And voila. Man, it's a lot of foil. Okay. So we have one last step. So you want to be able to close the top of your box. Hopefully I can still get my box to close here. It needs to go on the inside. There we go. So I need to bend this back a little bit. There we go. Okay. So, as you can see, my pizza box is closed, but I still have this flap up. And we want this to stay up, and we want it to stay at kind of like a 90-degree angle because the sun is going to be reflecting off of this foil. So we need this to be up. And we want it to be at like a 90-degree angle. So if you have like a skewer or something that will work, I don't have those. So I'm just going to use a pencil to prop it up. But we are going to have to tape it so that way it can stay in place. Okay, so let me get my tape. have to right there. Okay. Let's see if I can take. Ooh. Oh, another important thing. Make sure you don't poke any holes in your saran wrap because we don't want any air getting in there. So make sure. There we go. And then I'm going to tape that on there. Make sure that there aren't any holes or anything in your saran wrap. Yeah, okay. And there we go. It is being held up by our pencil there. This is the final product. You can definitely cover all of this in foil if you want to try and make it look super cool. But the fun part is coming up next. So stay tuned because I am going to put a treat, a surprise in my solar oven and take it outside. Make sure that it is at least 85 degrees. So this is probably done best in the middle of the day. So maybe not early morning or late at night because you really need the sun to cook your food. So we shouldn't have issues with that here in Texas because it's been really, really hot. So I'm gonna go outside and see if I can cook something. Stay tuned. Hey prep students, so I'm outside getting ready to try my solar oven. It's pretty hot out here. I'm already starting to sweat, but that's a good thing. That's what we want. You want to choose an area that is going to get full direct sun for at least 30 minutes, okay? And I am going to try and cook a s'more because it's, you know, pretty simple. It tastes really good, but under the supervision of your parent, you can try and cook other things. It just depends on how hot it is where you're at and how much sun you're getting. So maybe your parents will allow you to try and cook a hot dog or something like that. But for starters, we're just gonna try and make a s'more, okay? So I'm gonna show you what that looks like. Okay, so I have made my little s'more. I put it on a little tiny piece of foil that's gonna be like the little tray so you can pick up your s'more. We'll know it's done when that marshmallow is melted and the chocolate gets all gooey. So that's what we're looking for. Oops. My s'more has fallen apart. Okay. Let's try and keep that on there. It will stay. Okay, so now I'm going to close my. Alright, so there is the solar oven. So you want to have that flap facing the sun because the sun's going to need to reflect off of that foil and heat up your food. So that is what it should look like. I can't wait to see what you all decide to cook. And I'm also curious to see how long it takes for your items to cook in your solar oven because it depends on a couple of different things. So just be sure to take note of all those things in your journal. And yeah, can't wait to see what you guys get. All right, it's been about 30 minutes. I think it's actually been more like 40 minutes. So let's take a look at our, oh, look at how melted that chocolate is. Ooh, okay. Well,